Hey, this is Michael with digitaltshirtshop.com. Hey, we would love, first of all, to have you subscribe. I think this is my first video that I've done with my new backdrop that we bought. Um, and I was playing with the lighting a little bit before I started the video, and I'm gonna need to keep playing with that because I think I'm getting too hard of shadows, but it's got a little different with some brighter lights pointing at me. But we'll play with it in future videos to see if we can get just a little bit better presentation. So starting off with digitaltshirtshop.com, we had, the idea behind digitaltshirtshop.com was to show people what it was like to start a business and to, revenues and expenses and how long it took to become profitable. One of the unique things that we had take place in this process was the eclipse taking place. If you remember starting out back, I think we started the very end of January. February, we had no sales. March, we had a few sales and we're running in the hole $200 with our expenses. And then April, still in the hole $400. May, still in the hole $359 based on the number of sales we had. But you could see that between May and even March, we had a significant increase in sales. Those were our sales, about 5 sales right there in March. And then all of a sudden in May, we're up, 180 some t-shirts, 84, 83 t-shirts, I guess. This was a special sale that I think we had. Then June, they increased even more, and our carryover and profitability actually dropped. We actually earned a profit that month. And then July is the month that we've gotten to. Now, July, we had the Eclipse t-shirts that we started selling, and look at our number of sales. They just started to skyrocket. Now, this is a little, I know, for example, we've talked about tracking Amazon, and Amazon, I've been tracking the period sales, um, just putting them in a spreadsheet so we could see how sales varied on Amazon, and you can see how they've, in this column D right here, how we went from a little and then came up. I think we had a big sale in there. We must have. That was that high, $700. And then all of a sudden we had a spike. I might have to go back and look at that one. That just does seem like it's way out of the ordinary. Then we had a spike in sales in July and August where, we hit one month where we had one period. This is a 2-week period on Amazon, $4,700 in sales. Then we've dropped to a few $100 per period after that. Anyways, going back to July's sales. So our sales have picked up dramatically on Etsy. We had 2,700, Amazon 2,700, which is interesting. Amazon fees were $268.59. Etsy fees were $466.43. Now on Etsy, we've been doing more paid marketing, promoting on Etsy. And Etsy's a lot more consistent at actually promoting our products than Amazon is. On Amazon, you can promote every day with a budget, and they only use a fraction of it. Etsy card processing fees. Now, this is something that I came across yesterday that I wasn't tracking in previous months, and I didn't realize that the card processing fee is coming out separate from other Etsy fees. So in total, we had $2,700 in Etsy sales. We had $568 in fees on Etsy, which really starts to seem like it adds up. That's actually twice as much in fees, almost twice as much than Amazon. which is, but I, let's say we advertise $10 a day on Etsy. There's $300 right there that we ended up spending on just advertising on Etsy. So we didn't do any paid data entry where my sister-in-law was keying anything in. I did pay my mother-in-law to actually print shirts for us, $300. uh, Printer expense, and then all the ink and shirts and postage supplies. So that's just a rough estimate. It is, there got to be so many sales. I can't, going through and figuring out, I know there's ways to map it in a spreadsheet. I'm just kind of lazy at doing that. So I've gone and just kind of associated a printing cost and supply cost with every order. And excuse me. So this is fairly rough, but as you can see, we had about $2,900 in expenses, which means that in all for the month we netted $2,400. We had a little bit of carryover from the prior month. We had our first month making a bunch of money, which is great, fantastic. Um, so that's how July ended up. So it took us really, and once more, the goal was to average 20 shirts a day. So now we did hit that, and we're really close to it in August. Um, but really, technically, the goal is to do that consistently. Now, this right here was about 700 shirts. Sorry, it was 300 shirts. July was 700. So 300 shirts is actually only about 11 shirts a day. So 11 shirts a day. So at 11 shirts a day, we would make $2,500 at 20 shirts a day, consistently month by month by month. We could technically be making double that, $5,000 a month. Um, Now, if you were thinking about starting a home business, or let's say a t-shirt business like this, um, one of the easy ways for your business to run amok on you and to all of a sudden make it very unprofitable is to get out of control on your labor expenses. Um, you're going to have a variable cost on your shirts and your ink and your printer supplies and postage and things like that that are fairly quantifiable per purchase. Um, However, the labor, on the other hand, working somebody too much or working somebody when you don't need them can cost you a lot of money. So, had I spent, let's say, $500 having uh, or $600 having Linda, my mother-in-law, help me, and maybe another $300 with Sam, there would be another $600 that would immediately come off of my net there, putting us at about $1,900. You could see how quickly that could disappear, my net profit there. So labor is something you definitely need to watch, and usually as a home business or a business starting out, you're not going to have a lot of that labor expense. Um, that you have to necessarily worry about. But as your business starts to expand and you need labor, you need people to come and help. It really plays into um, the profitability of your business. So you really need to watch that. In addition to that, other supplies and things. You could. Maybe you need to order a lot of supplies. I'm actually quantifying the ink based on the number of shirts that I have sold, just applying 50 cents per shirt. Now, the ink, I think, may actually be costing me a little bit more than that. My cartridges cost me about $50 a cartridge, and that's looking like I swapped out 3 cartridges during the month. And in my mind, I'm thinking that I had to have swapped out more than 3 cartridges in the month. So my ink possibly could have been more than what we're quantifying here. Um, Possibly, maybe I might be off by $100. When I buy ink, though, I turn around and I buy it. I usually, sometimes I try to hit a minimum that the manufacturer wants me to spend in order to get free freight or a discount off of the ink. But if I buy a lot of ink one month, I might have a smaller net profit one month versus another month. In this case, we're not quantifying it that way. We're quantifying it by the unit, not by the actual purchase, in part because we're segmenting out this business from my other business. Um, so if I spent, let's say, $500 in ink one month, that would have an impact on my net profit this month, but maybe not next month, depending upon how much of that ink I go through. But it could affect me the following month. Um, in part, just depends on how long the ink lasts. So that should give you a pretty good idea of some of the things that I would look at with relation to profitability. In June, we actually made a profit in June, um, because of the number of shirts that we sold. And you can actually start to see when you go from selling, for example, here, $1,000 in t-shirts where we're in the hole. So there's obviously a break even point in here somewhere on this business, and that break even point may be, I don't know, $1,500 in t-shirts or something of the sort. It might be about where we break even. Oh, actually, we did break even here. So it'd probably be a little less than this, maybe $1,100 or $1,000 to selling uh, 5 times that much, $5,000. And then obviously all of the expenses increase, and we had to add some labor and some things like that. And we ended up making 3,000 of that $5,000. You can see how you can go from not making anything to making anything pretty quick, just based on sales volume. Um, June again, $200 net there. July, $2,400. And again, when you're running your business, how much money you make really is completely dependent upon how you spend your money. So, what your costs are. And you really should, if you're going to start a home based business, quantify that before you jump through all these hoops. So, and get involved in it in the first place. But there you go. That is July. We'll do another video for August, but would love to have you subscribe to digitaltshirtshop.com, and we'll move ahead. Thanks.